Good day, Leandrea.
Good day, Otis, and good day to our Erongo Talk viewers today.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Otis?
Are you coping with the lockdown?
We are coping. What else can we do? We need to
Stage one.
cope. Exactly. We need to cope. So today we're coming from you from Swakopmund, from Trendhaus Arts and Artisans. And then in today's show, we're going to bring you an interview with Community Affairs Commander, Inspector Ileni Shapumba.
Yes.
We also have an interview with the principal of the Tuikam Primary School in Tubuses, Erongo region, where she's going to tell us a bit about the school.
Yes.
We're of course going to bring you the latest news, weather and tides. And yes, be sure to not go on anywhere.
Yeah, something different. Always something different.
We'll see you right now.
Yo, respect and Hannah. My name is Gary Dredd, best reggae nominee for NAMA 2020. Keep on watching Erongo Talk.
And now for your news. And by now we know that everybody's attention is on Office Bay.
Yes.
The Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, announced on Saturday that Namibia has 4 new COVID cases. And this means that the country now has 29 cases with 16 recoveries and 13 active cases. So Kalumbi made the announcement telephonically to the state television broadcaster, saying case 26 involved a man aged 44 who works in the finance department of a private hospital in Office Bay. And according to the minister, case 26 did not have any contact with case number 22, and the ministry is conducting an investigation to determine the source of infection. Should we be worried, Leandrea?
It looks like it might be local transmission, because the ministry is now busy with contact tracing and trying to figure out where exactly he got the virus from.
Yes.
But as we all know, that case number 22 is is the fisherman that tested positive for the virus, is also in the hospital.
Yes.
At the same hospital on ICU, but they said that the two didn't have any contact.
Yes.
So we're also expected to hear an announcement today about the situation of Office Bay's lockdown. So please check out our social media pages for any updates on that, because it's expected our lockdown is supposed to end tonight at 1 minute to 12.
And we are holding our breath.
Yes, we are. We are really holding our breath, and we are hoping for the best.
Yeah, so the minister told our colleague Adolf Kaure yesterday that the condition of this patient was satisfactory and that there was no real concern over him.
Yes.
He is currently in self-isolation and he's doing fine, said the minister.
Yes.
Now, case 27 involves a man, 23, who travelled from South Africa on the 20th of May and did not show any symptoms. Case 28 involves a Namibian, 21, studying in South Africa, who tested on 1 June. Case 29 involves a Namibian, also aged 21, who also studies in South Africa and travelled back on the 29th of May. So the 4 mentioned 3 cases are friends, studying at the same university, who travelled on the same flight and are all quarantined at the same facility.
Yes.
So far, 4,588 samples have been tested. There are currently 800 people in quarantine countrywide, and the minister said case 22 is still in ICU on a ventilator, but his condition is stable and he's showing signs of recovery.
Yes.
Yes, so, Wicha released a statement.
Yes. Now, basically, Wavicha Hospital also placed a statement on their Facebook page on Saturday, just after the announcement of the minister, where they also just said that the first patient, which is case number 22, he has been extremely sick and has been on a ventilator in their isolation ICU for 15 days, but he is showing signs of recovery. So his condition is slowly improving, and he's gradually being weaned off the ventilator.
Good
so
news.
That's some good news.
Good news. And
that's
no deaths.
good.
No deaths at this point in time.
At all. And then basically they just spoke about their colleague in the finance department that showed COVID-19 symptoms and tested positive on Friday. And he is now in isolation. His family and all his immediate contacts were also placed in isolation as well. And then Matthias Brown, the CEO of Wavicha Hospital, basically just encouraged his colleague and his family that this is a difficult and upsetting time for them, but they just want to know that their hearts are with them all the time. And then What he mentioned as well is that the hospital was inspected by a delegation from the Ministry of Health and Social Services, and then the inspection team consisted of experts from the Health Ministry and the World Health Organization. And basically he said that they were found to be well prepared and were commended for the quality of their practices and COVID-19 prevention measures. And then they know that we know that we are doing all we can to keep our hospital safe and to serve our community, but it's comforting to have the experts confirming that is the case, he said. And then he just encouraged people that are in quarantine right now, do not despair, together we will win.
Kan ek vir jou 'n vraagie vra?
Ja, vra maar vir my, Otis.
Wat drink 'n leeu?
Ek weet nie, wat drink 'n leeu?
Water. Maar ek dink ons het 'n probleem in Walvis Bay, want die mense is dors.
Mense is dors.
Die mense is dors, Leandrea.
Dit was een van die eerste goed wat gecomplain was op onze Facebook post toe ons sê Walvis Bay gaan nog vir 4 dae op lockdown.
Wat het hulle
Mense
gesê?
wil dors, hulle wil drink, hulle kan nie meer nie, Otis.
So 14 persons were arrested and fined for transgressing the state's one COVID-19 rules applicable to Walvis Bay in particular over the weekend. The Commander for Community Affairs, Ileni Shapumba, confirmed this and said that fines amounting to 28,000 were paid. We confiscated liquor valued at thousands of dollars, and the transgressors paid fines of $2,000 each. Shapumba confirmed. He said that 11 persons were arrested for trying to smuggle liquor into Walvis Bay from Swakopmund. The arrests were made at the roadblock on the C14 route, which runs behind Dune 7. And Shapumba also said that the majority of these individuals were apparently sent by prominent bean owners to purchase large quantities of liquor and bring it into Walvis Bay, where the sale of alcohol is prohibited due to stage 1 lockdown conditions. They used a dirt road through the dunes to avoid the roadblock.
Waar daar 'n wil is daar 'n weg.
Maar die gereg het ook 'n lang hand. Hulle moet dit onthou. Yeah, so one of the guilty parties acknowledged that his friend had pulled $1,800 and asked that he bring alcohol to them. Shapumba said that another of the arrested individuals used a medical certificate to leave Walvis Bay and returned with a large consignment of liquor. Yeah, and then it would appear that there is a thriving black market for alcohol with prices that skyrocketed due to the demand in the COVID lockdown. So beers are reportedly being sold at $40 a bottle, and the price of a bottle of brandy is no klippies and die ouens, né?
Ja.
Depends on the brand, and could cost you anything from $300 and up. Yeah, so the above mentioned arrest followed the first illegal liquor bust that was made at the Swakopmund roadblock on Friday. Someone used a courier company to smuggle liquor into the harbour town. And this attempt was thwarted. 3 individuals were also arrested at Dune 7 for entering the Walvis Bay area illegally. They were found partying at Dune 7. So these individuals travelled from Windhoek and could not produce the required permits when they were requested to do so. Each was fined $2,000, Shapumba said. He once again called on all community members to respect the rule of law and emphasized that the lockdown was put in place to protect the community.
Exactly.
Yes.
And when we drink, we socialize, and our common sense is thrown out of the window at the end of the day. Exactly.
We do not use our common sense.
Yes. Exactly. So that's the whole idea of why, when we're on lockdown, no alcohol at the end.
Yes. While we're on this issue of behavioral patterns,
yes,
our governor also pronounced himself about this on Friday.
Yes, at his weekly media update, he mentioned when he was on patrol earlier in the week with the mayor of Walvis Bay, Emmanuel Wilfred. He was on patrol with all the security cluster basically.
Yes.
And what he saw was worrisome, because he was literally on foot with the patrol, and so he could speak to the people on the ground. He could see what was happening. And the patrol basically started in town from the Spa area, and we moved all the way down to Trust Market,
yes,
and then in Swakopmund as well. And the thing is, there's really a level of ignorance when it comes to the people adhering to the lockdown regulations, and that's what he basically said. Because there was one business specific in the CBD area that was not an essential service, that does not have a permit, but they were open,
yes,
and he was fined $2,000 at the end of the day.
Sure.
So basically what he said is that it's quite worrisome to see how the people of Walvis Bay specifically are behaving themselves concerning in this lockdown time. It was exactly the same message by the mayor of Walvis Bay as well, Emmanuel Wilfred, because he said this lockdown compared to the first one, it's totally different. It's like it's business as usual at the end of the day. So, and then he basically just encouraged people, because at the end of the day, the lockdown stems from case number 21. The truck driver that visited the bank, he was in a taxi that went to a bank. He went home in a taxi, and he was in contact with his colleagues. So they're still busy with contact tracing. And then we have case number 22. We have another case that relates to case number 22, the colleague of case number 22, the 51-year-old. And now we have a fourth case in Walvis Bay that we have no idea from how he got the virus at the end of the day. So if that is not reason enough for the people of Walvis Bay to realize that no, this is reality, we are in a pandemic, this virus is highly contagious at the end of the day, I don't know what will.
The governor also highlighted some issues that emerged upon a visit to the roadblocks. He said this involved people illegally leaving Walvis Bay by getting dropped off along the sea and then walking into Swakopmund. The same tactics are deployed to enter illegally into Walvis Bay. These issues were shared with the security cluster, who acted swiftly and had put in place the necessary measures to curb such activities. So Andre also visited quarantine facilities in Walvis Bay to acquaint himself with the conditions at these facilities. He said he was impressed with the excellent state of the quarantine facilities at Protea Hotel, Pelican and Esplanade Park. And yes, he applauded the health and Walvis Bay municipal officials at the facilities for their commitment and dedication to ensure that the occupants are receiving the required support in a dignified manner. The Swakopmund municipality also availed the municipal bungalows to be used as quarantine facilities. So finally the governor commended Standard Bank in Walvis Bay for acting swiftly, utilizing the surveillance cameras and instituting the necessary measures, including quarantining staff who might have come into contact with this truck driver who tested positive for COVID-19. So and that's your news segment for today. Please. Yes, Commander, you can update us.
Yes, what happened? Today we arrested about 7 people who attempted to smuggle alcohol in a restricted area, Walvis Bay in particular. These people traveled for different reasons to Swakopmund. Some went for medical attention, others went as essential service providers. On that merit, they have certificates to travel, and we allowed them to go. And then during the process, they decided to buy alcohol and attempt to smuggle this alcohol in Walvis Bay. Most of them, or all of them, attempted to use or used the road behind June 7 and then C14 road. And before the roadblock, on the C14 road, there is a route that, an illegal one actually, that they used or that they are using to access into the town through Naraval. And that's where we ambushed them. And then they were arrested. 4 of them were arrested yesterday at the C14 roadblock. These people were given fines, were charged actually, given fine of 2,000 each, and as we speak, all of them have paid fine. Something unique in this is that most of the people, or other people, few people were sent, should I say, some people were sent by prominent shebeen owners to go and buy alcohol and bring. And that translates the reason why people paid the fine is because the owners had to pay the fine for these particular individuals to be cleared off, and to cut the story short. Also, what we can tell you is that especially the shebeen owners, the business communities, there is something that is in them, a belief that for you to succeed, you must be exposed to different challenges. And arresting them or breaking the law for the purpose of doing business is just part of it. Especially most of the shebeen owners, there is that belief that for you to succeed or for you to be arrested as a result of this is part of the challenges that makes you a successful person at the end of the day. You have to undergo through that, and it proves the signs of manhood. You are a man when you go through all those things. For you to succeed, you must go through challenges, actually. And that is the problem that we have. Other 3 people also yesterday were arrested, apparently traveled from Windhoek, and then they were entertaining themselves in the area where it's not allowed, because we are in a lockdown and everybody is supposed to be at home. So they traveled, came with alcohol, they were fined, 3 of them, and they all paid bail, fine, yesterday. I want to urge the public to say we don't enjoy arresting them. We also do not enjoy people breaking the law. It's not about arrest, it's not about paying the fine, it's about what we are exposing ourselves to when we are not respecting the rules, when we are not observing the regulations pertaining to the lockdown. There is a reason why we are on lockdown, and we should all understand from it, or from that angle, that we need really to stay at home, minimize unnecessary movement. Let us not sell alcohol at the time when it's restricted. Let us just respect the law, because that is the basis that defines us as a community, or as a nation, or as a region.
Yes. Commander, what will happen to the confiscated liquor?
The liquor that was confiscated is part of exhibit. Now that the case are closed, the people have admitted guilty, we will have a time when when an order will be given for this exhibit to be disposed of in a manner so prescribed in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act. That's a process that happens. When items are confiscated from people, these items form part of exhibit, meaning that we will need to present them. Should we go to court, we have to present them to say this is what was confiscated from these individuals. If they are not found guilty, they have to be returned back to the owners. Yes. But if they are found guilty, then the order will be given, an appropriate order will be given for these items to be disposed of, as in line with the Criminal Procedure Act.
So, in all, about more than 20,000 in fines was paid?
About 22,000 was paid in the respect of liquor.
Yes.
For those who contravene the rule in terms of the liquor.
Yes.
Sales of alcohol was supplying or purchasing of alcohol. And 6,000 was paid as a result, or from those who contravenes the regulations in terms of going out and then entertaining themselves, and also coming in the area, restricted area, without permit, travel permit.
What is your message to the residents of Office Bay?
We want to remind them, to sensitize them actually, to say we are in trouble if we don't take care of ourselves. The situation is before us, we need to understand it. And I repeatedly say this, that we need to understand the reason why we are on lockdown. And we should speak to our inner persons, and inner person should speak to us, and we should do what is right. Surely, our roadblock is there. We are on the ground for a purpose. And we are not going to allow anybody to do as we want for the sake and safety of them, for the sake and safety of our community. So, we are going to take appropriate actions against anybody who is not going to respect, or we have been taking appropriate actions against those who are not following the regulations. But we are saying we don't enjoy arresting people, we don't enjoy punishing people. Let them realize what is right, and let them do what is right for ourselves and for us as a community.
Thank you so much, Commander.
Pleasure.
Okay, so we're chatting to Ms. Ekanjos. She's the acting principal at Koikam Primary School here in Tubuses in the Erongo region. Now, Ms. Ekanjos, just quickly tell us how many teachers do you have here and how many learners?
Okay, thank you very much. There are 10 teachers. And we have 325 learners.
Oh, so
from grade 0 to grade 7.
Ah, okay. And then just earlier we spoke that you also have a multi-grade system. Yes. Can you just quickly explain how that works?
Okay. Now, the multi-grade comes in when we have few numbers in grade, because we are offering 2 medium of instruction. We have KKG, which is co-op.
Yes.
And we have Oshidloga.
Yes.
Now we are combining grade 2 and grade 3 KKGs. So that they will be combined in one class.
Okay.
By one teacher. And grade 2 and 3 other one for Shindoga in one class.
Yes.
Okay. Teacher.
Okay. And then, sorry.
Yeah, but grade 0 was not combined.
Yes.
It's only combined this year, where we find ourselves in a difficult situation, where we were having 69 learners, grade 2 and 3, which is combined in one class. Then we decide that since there are few learners in 3 and there are few learners in grade 1 for KKG,
yes,
let's combine these 2 classes, grade 0 and grade 1, and split grade 2 and 3 Oshindonga.
Okay.
Now we are having 40 learners for grade 2 Oshindonga and 29 learners for grade 3.
Okay. And then basically the learners that comes to school here is learners from the local area.
Yeah, but some, not all of the learners came from the local, we say around. Most of the learners, we say the majority, 70% of the learners, they are coming from the north.
Okay.
That's why we are offering Oshindonga.
That makes totally sense now. Yes. And I just spoke to some of the teachers that there's a lot of, it's quite a challenge to get into contact with those learners in the north.
Yes, it's a challenge because then we found ourselves in a difficult situation that the contact numbers that are on the application form, they are no more exist.
Yes.
Maybe a person or a parent changed the number of the card lost or whatever.
Whatever the case may be, yes.
Yeah. That's why we only contact, we have the coordinators in different towns. We contact them and then we find, do you know this person, or try to find this person and give us the correct number.
Lovely. And then another challenge that you also have is that you guys don't have any running water. Can you just explain a bit about that?
Yes, we don't have running water because we usually get water from boreholes. But all these years we did not receive enough rain. Now our boreholes get dry.
Yes.
There is no water. We only get water from Chinam Water Caribbean.
And they bring the tanks to Tubuses.
They bring a truck and then they put the water in the tanks.
Sure. And now that we're in a time of COVID-19, water is so important.
It's very, very important. We don't know how we are going to succeed.
Yes. And then basically, how has coronavirus, the whole pandemic and all the restrictions affected the school and the area around the school?
It's very affecting the school when it comes to hand washing.
Yes.
You have to buy the hand washing soaps, the sanitizers. Sometimes the school does not have enough money. And also the community, when they need to understand this situation.
Yes.
Even when we put the hand wash outside the sanitizers, some they are not applying to. And the social distance, we say only one client must come in or parents must come in here, but we find them come in 5 and say, some they must go back, and the wearing of masks, some they are not wearing masks. That's why we put in the mask, no mask, no enter.
No
there
entry.
Are still some coming
that want to take chances. And then Mercy, just lastly, what is your message to your teachers and to the people in the local area?
Okay, I would just like to say they must adhere to these regulations of COVID-19. They must practice social distancing. They must not sit in groups.
Yes.
Wash their hands, sanitize. That's all.
Thank you so much, Mercy. I really appreciate this.
Thank you very much.
We now bring you the weather and tides for today. We had a high tide at 20 past 4, with a low tide expected at 20 to 11 this evening, a high tide at 10 to 4, and then 10 to 3, sorry, and then another low tide at 20 past 10 this evening.
Now, for your temperatures for today, the Walvis Bay sunrise was this morning at just 20 minutes before 8. It's a bit late, so we're officially in winter. And then sunset is going to be at 24 minutes past 6 this evening. The maximum temperatures for today is going to be 27 degrees Celsius with a north-northwesterly wind. And then for tomorrow, the minimum will be 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum 22 degrees Celsius with a westerly wind.
And in Swakopmund, we had sunrise also at about 22 to 8, and the sun will set at about 26 minutes past 6 this afternoon. And then also we had a maximum of 27 with a northern wind prevailing through the course of the day, and then a maximum for 22 and a minimum for 14 for tomorrow with a west-northwesterly wind predicted.
Yes, now for Henties Bay, the sunrise and sunset is the same as Walvis Bay and Swakopmund. The maximum temperatures for today is 29 degrees Celsius with a north-northwesterly wind. And then for tomorrow, the minimum is 14 degrees Celsius, maximum 22 degrees Celsius with a westerly wind.
And now moving on to the rest of the region. Arandas, the sun were up at 25 to 8. And the sun is expected to set at 23 past 6, a maximum temperature of 32, and then a north-northeasterly wind predicted for today, and tomorrow a maximum of 28, with a minimum of 10 and a west-northwesterly wind prevailing.
And then for Yusakos, the sunrise and sunset times are exactly the same as all the other towns in the region. The maximum will be 30 degrees Celsius today with a north-northeasterly wind. Maximum for tomorrow will be 30 degrees Celsius and the minimum will be 7 degrees Celsius with a north-northeasterly wind.
And then in Karabab, the sun were up at about half past 7, and the sun is expected to set at 20 past 6 with a maximum of 28 and a north-northeasterly wind predicted for today. And tomorrow a maximum of 28 and a minimum of 6 with a northern wind in the area.
And then finally for Omaruru, sunrise was this morning at 7:30, sunset will be at 20 minutes past 6. The maximum temperature for today will be 28 degrees Celsius with a north-northeasterly wind. And then for tomorrow the minimum will be 6 degrees Celsius, maximum 28 degrees Celsius with a northerly wind. And that's your weather and tides for today and tomorrow.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk.
So please go check out our website at www.erongo.com.na. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and drop us a WhatsApp at 0811 7040.
Yes, and we have more than 45,000 online followers. So should you need to advertise or promote a product or your company, we can do so for you. Get into contact with us via printed media as well as on our Facebook page. We can boost your business.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Yes,
so please remember
yes.
to wear your mask, keep your social distancing, wash your hands. And for Walvis Bay, please don't smuggle alcohol into Walvis Bay. We want the lockdown lifted, not extended.
Exactly.
So please, let's keep in mind the regulations set in place and let's look after ourselves. We'll see you again tomorrow.